Welcome once again to this glorious corner of absolute truth where we dismantle political farces with the rigor they deserve. Today is the 27th of February 2025, and what I bring to you is a jewel of hypocrisy at its finest. While the Honourable Sir Keir Starmer was busy selling smoke in Parliament, we took the liberty of unmasking each of his lies. Because here, on this channel, we do not swallow fairy tales or empty promises, always from the opposition, like the good journalist who never allows himself to be manipulated by the charlatans of the day. Part 1. Let me set the scene. Prime Minister's Questions Day and all hell breaks loose. Starmer, with his classic grin of a door-to-door encyclopedia salesman, takes the podium and delivers his textbook speech. Something about defence investment, something about Europe's stability, something about his plan being as solid as the Great Wall of China. But, of course, someone had to ask where he was going to get the cash, and that's when the comedy reaches astronomical levels. First, he says defence spending will be £13.4 billion, then his own defence secretary claims it will only be £6 billion. In other words, not even they know how much money they have conjured out of thin air. To the surprise of absolutely no one, Starmer spends the session spinning like a carousel without clarifying a thing. Something about future projections, something about progressive spending, something about the money coming from the goodwill of taxpayers. Meanwhile, the opposition stares at him with utter disbelief, waiting for a coherent answer. Spoiler, it never comes. But the cherry on top arrives when the topic of British troops in Ukraine is mentioned. Starmer puffs out his chest and declares that everything possible must be done to guarantee peace in Europe. Of course, mate, but no one actually knows whether his fancy defence budget includes this move or if he's just winging it. And there you have it, all bark and no bite. We're being sold a robust plan while the reality is buried under inflated figures and evasive answers. If this isn't political theatre at its finest, Churchill himself should rise from the grave to witness it. Part 2. And the farce doesn't end there, because the best was yet to come. While Parliament was filled with nervous laughter and forced applause, the press was desperately trying to squeeze a straight answer from our dear Starmer regarding the infamous Chagos deal. For the uninitiated, we're talking about a negotiation over the sovereignty of strategic islands in the Indian Ocean. But, hold on to your hats, because even his defence secretary couldn't confirm whether the deal would come from the defence budget or from the parliamentary biscuit tin. Apparently, the numbers are floating in a mysterious haze that only Starmer understands, or pretends to. To make things even more amusing, his brilliant response was to deny everything and insist that all is under control. Oh, sure. The same man who can't even keep his own figures straight wants us to believe he has a master plan for securing Europe. Forgive me if I don't burst into applause. The reality is that Britons are watching their country's economic management turn into a bad joke, with rising taxes, falling wages, and politicians who seem more concerned with their media image than fixing the nation. We're told that the economy is recovering while businesses are forced to slash salaries and sack employees just to stay afloat. And so we go on, another week of theatrical performances in Parliament with a Prime Minister who pretends everything is fine while the average citizen wonders what else they'll take away in the name of progress. No clear answers. Just figures that shift depending on the time of day and decisions that seem to be drawn from a lottery. But fear not, we'll still be here, watching and unmasking these masters of deception, always from the opposition, because someone has to do it. Until next time, and remember, if you've enjoyed these analyses, show your support. See you in the next episode of Britain's Tragicomedy.